Hello guys, my name is Ryan JC, and today I'm going to be talking about something that would greatly benefit you just so you don't get annoyed. And if you've ever been in a situation where you're watching TV and someone walks in the room and they start looking or talking at you, and it's kind of clear that you're trying to focus on what's on TV and they just won't go away, then this will help you a lot. Not only this, but if you tend to utilize what I'm about to tell you or teach you in this video, it'll make meditations a lot easier. And it will very much stop you from living a stress-fulfilled life, a very stress-free life. A couple of days ago, I woke up, right? And when I woke up out of my bed, I was thinking, where's this gonna go? No, I woke up out of my bed and I thought to myself, really? My twin brother, his room is exactly opposite from mine. And he brought himself a new stereo player and put it against my wall, okay? My little brother has an annoying sound system under the floorboards at this end of the bedroom, right? So I got two annoying, crappy music playing, you know? And I thought to myself, okay, how am I going to stop this from annoying me? And it wasn't until today that I realized what I did wrong. But first I'm going to tell you what I did right. I remember the times I paid attention to TV. I remember the times I paid attention to the TV and I drowned out the sound of everyone else in the room. So what I did was I came up with a clear incentive, a clear picture of what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was go to sleep. I wanted to go to sleep. So I started to thinking about sleeping. I started thinking about how I felt before I slept. And I started to think about the processing I was doing with my consciousness in order to get myself in the mindset to fall asleep. So what I did was I put so much attention, because I really wanted to do this. Go to sleep, right? Everyone wants to go to sleep, especially if you're getting woken up, you want to go back to sleep as soon as possible. So what I did was I focused all my attention so much on going to sleep that the noises, even though it was right next to my wall, next to my other side of my bed, and the noises down the other end of the room, which sound system vibrates my entire room. He's got an annoying amount of subs in his room, more than he needs. His bedroom is quarter the size my bedroom is. I focused so much on trying to get to sleep that they just disappeared. The sounds disappeared. And when I decided to think to myself, oh my God, I couldn't hear anything, have they turned it off? I drew my attention back to the room and realized that they haven't even turned down the sound. This means that from then on I was able to meditate or even astral project willingly with the so-called disadvantage of noises or a messed up surround. Now this is kind of advanced because it deals with directing your attention, which a lot of people nowadays haven't even touched upon in their lives in order to achieve these states of consciousness, when really all you're doing is you're just putting so much energy and focus into one state of being that everything else drowns out. It's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm doing these videos. I'm actually finding it quite difficult because I'm not used to doing it with the videos, because I'm always elsewhere. I can always feel the person driving down the street or know that somebody is listening in on these videos. But that aside, I also did this when I was at the grocery store. If you're an empath or you do a lot of astral projection, you understand the fact that when you walk into crowded places, you don't really want to be there. It's like you can feel everyone. But if you just pick up that apple in the grocery store and you put so much attention into the color, into the feeling, into the weight or the detail of the thing and what you're going to use it for, what happens is everyone turns off. You can't feel everyone, their intentions, what they're doing, why it is that they're gonna, you can't feel everyone watching you. It's like everything else closes off, and it's like you're using all that energy which is enough to fill an entire building, feel an entire building, It's enough for you to imagine your entire process of baking a cake the next day with the ingredients you're buying at the grocery store. All of the energy that's used to do this is just pulled together, and it's just narrowed down and directed at looking at that apple, which you can tell is a lot of energy, right? And if you do this, what happens is you remember things a lot more easier. A lot more easier. And I realized that because this is like this awareness of attention came to me in pieces. It started with a game that I still play actually on my phone, Nokia. And the game is Spider-Man Unlimited. And I'd noticed that before I go to bed, I'd play it so much that when I closed my eyes to go to bed, all I would see is the game movements, going left to right, jumping up, tapping the screen twice, the colourful things that spiral around into your face, and, the obstacles you have to overcome in the game. And I paid so much attention to getting a high score that it literally got drilled into my head. The day before I was watching TV, I pulled up my phone, started playing it. I paid so much attention to it, I forgot that time went really quickly, for starters. And what I was looking at, the noises in the living room would disappear because I was so much into the game. I put so much attention into the game. The energy used to listen to the sound on the TV just narrowed down into the game, which is in front of my hand. And it's like, people call it selective hearing. But it doesn't mean you can't hear anything. It just means that you're putting so much focus into what you want to hear that you actually hear it 100% and it goes in, which was very incredible to say the least. There were times when I would be watching TV and my mum's boyfriend would be in the living room at the same time and he would watch me watch TV and notice that no matter how many people were in the room talking, shouting, yelling, having their own little arguments, even the people who are talking to me that I'm ignoring, he would notice that I would blank out. Or really I would zone in to the TV, I would zone into what it is that I'm watching on the TV, so much so that the sound would start to drown out anything else that's in the room, any other person talking, anyone even looking at me. It was like I was the only one in the room watching the TV. Now, how do you do this? Well, when I was told about focus in school, I'd focus so hard on a particular subject or a particular skill to the point where I'd get a headache, right? I'd find it incredibly hard to focus. And it was like I was trying to look for a strategy in order to make myself focus on something else. Or the teachers would look at me and think that I wasn't focusing. So whatever I was doing at that time when they were looking at me, I decided not to do. If you know what I mean. Which caused me into creating some sort of mindset where I was trying to be focused, but really all I was doing was giving myself a headache. I was getting stressed, I was getting incredibly annoyed, and I ended up failing most of my exams because of this. You see, I reckon if people were taught what focus is and what paying attention is from the very start and how important and how beneficial it is for future generations to come or for future situations to come, then a lot more people would want to do it in depth. I mean, a lot of people nowadays, they listen to music when they're doing something. This is a massive problem because if you're listening to music, really what you're doing is you're dividing your attention straight in half. So you're listening to music and you're doing whatever you're doing, which means you're not adding 100% focus on whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, which means you'll always fail short. And most people nowadays, they get encouraged to listen to music while they're doing something, okay? Which is a big problem because this pretty much breaks you, if you know what I mean. Because now when you try not to listen to music, I only know this because I used to do this when I was younger. When I tried not to listen to music, I'd find it hard to focus on something else, always because I was used to listening to music at the same time. And it incredibly impaired my ability to focus or to absorb information and to retain information on whatever subject I'm trying to learn, whether it be to get the A's in the class or whether it be just to improve myself in any sort of skill that I'm trying to learn, such as astral projection or shifting my focus or my mental state to another degree of processing. So, what is the solution to this? Well, first thing you need to know is you need to understand everything I just said. And hopefully once you get to this point, you'll realize that, you know what, he could be making sense. And you know what, I might not have been putting 100% effort into something, because you wouldn't really know this until you decide to put 100% effort at something. And then you'll realize how much effort you could have put in whilst you were listening to music, right? Simple. It's like the other day I was talking about the physical body. Everyone thinks that they're healthy, even though they're not eating a healthy lifestyle. They think they've got energy. They think they're working properly in optimal levels. But the problem is they've been eating bad food for their entire life. So they've always been at, say, 40%. They've never been at 100%. So how would they know what 100% feels like if they've never put the things in their body to operate at 100%? So, okay, when I say the word focus, what do you think of? Headaches? Trying to remember stuff you just can't remember. When I say attention, what do you normally think? Nice. When I say attention, you probably, as soon as I say attention, I think of soldiers, you know, that kind of thing. But putting your attention on something is pretty simple. I don't know if a lot of you out there are artists, or you've done some sort of labor work or some sort of activity that you were into, you were passionate about. So much so that you focused so much attention on what you were doing that you stopped splitting or dividing your attention to other things, the scenery, the background, other people around you, other things in your past, your future, things to come. You've stopped looking at those things and you've ended up dividing all your attention, bringing it all back together and just aiming it at one specific skill or task. A classic example of this is when you do art. I was talking about this in a consultation I've recently done. And the guy couldn't get what I was saying, which I was surprised. I thought everyone was doing this. Whenever you've drawn a picture or you've been involved in something physical that needed your attention, which you gave 100% and you didn't think any less of, you just wanted to get it done properly, perfectly, dot the I's, cross the T's, you wanted to get it perfect, right? When I used to do art and graphics in school, I would draw a photo. And I would be so into that photo, I'd put all my attention into it, so excited of how it's progressing in the present moment, that I'd forget to eat, I'd forget to sleep, and I'd forget to go to the loo. It was like I didn't need to sleep. The body kind of responded to the attention that I was giving a specific task. It was like my body adjusted to the way it needed to be in order for me to carry out the task 100%. I didn't feel hungry, it's not like I forgot to eat, I just didn't feel like eating. And as an example, or as a result of this shift, the photos would come out exactly as they were, as I was copying them. They'd come out 100%. Put all your attention to something, you realize that the thing that you were trying to do back in school, which was focus at a particular task or subject, really all you needed to do was pay attention. You know, and everyone says you need to pay attention, and most of the times the teacher's talking about stuff which you just don't give a darn about, and then you end up doing this. Or you end up thinking about something that you were doing on the weekend. And the particular person, maybe because they walk past your dorm room or your classroom and they're looking at you in the mirror, as some of my friends used to do. And you start recalling the weekend before. And you start doing this. Thinking of memories. And the teacher knows what's happening. That's why the teachers always, what they did in my school is they got a piece of paper and they plastered over a small narrow window over the door so that people couldn't look in. So we couldn't stop losing attention. They say pay attention, pay attention, pay attention. The thing is it wasn't like we wasn't paying attention. We were just paying attention to something else. So much so that we're drowning out everything else. So it's not like you can't pay attention. You just need to learn how to direct your attention to that particular thing that you wanted to do. Now, obviously, when you saw your friends, a good feeling happened, right? You got excited. I got really happy because I started thinking about, okay, what happened on the weekend was really fun, and what's going to happen the next weekend is going to be even better. Because I was putting so much attention into my future plans and my past plans, it was knocking me out the present, and I couldn't pay attention to the person who I was paid to pay attention to, the teacher, who, quite honestly, the stuff they were teaching me just didn't spark curiosity enough for me to want to pay attention to it. So it wasn't the fact that I wasn't paying attention or that I was broken or I had ADHD or whatever they labeled it. It was just the fact that the teachers were so crap at what they were teaching, and the stuff was so unimportant to me that I just didn't find it fascinating enough for me to want to pay attention. You need to want to pay attention to specific things in order to gain certain information, if you know what I mean. So I think that's going to do it on this video. I know it wasn't that long. I'm just trying to knock out as many videos as I can. And maybe if I do it short enough, your attention will be plugged in enough to this video so you can absorb the entire thing. Because I did make a video before this, which was an hour long. And I noticed that I put so much information into it that I thought at the end, you know what? What if my audience can't pay attention? What if maybe there are people who aren't used to focusing and directing their attention to things that they want to do, right? Which doesn't sound quite right. Because if you really want to astral project, if you really want to embrace your meditations and your focus and your attention towards things, surely, if you're watching this, you should be excited about doing these new skills and these developments. So if you're excited enough and you're passionate enough about moving forward with whatever it is that you're trying to do, whatever it is, mainly probably astral projection, that's why you're on my channel, then clearly you should be paying attention. So I'm Ryan JC, and I'll speak to you guys pretty soon, and I'll see you guys later on.